Where are your notes?
What?
Alright everybody, welcome to Jorts Center. I am your host, Alexander Frompot, and as always, my co-host, Malcolm Bigsby. Malcolm?
Hey, welcome to our holiday championship extravaganza here on Jorts Center, where we break down all the matchups in the playoffs so far, give you a peek into the championship round with our predictions, and also try not to worry about the fact that the commissioner of the league may have spent all the money for the buy-ins already and now has to either flee town or come up with it some way.
Yep, that's definitely going to make the players angry. That is for sure. So, with that in mind, let's get right to the breakdown of the first round of the playoffs that occurred 2 weeks ago. Alright, so breakdown of the first round of the playoffs 2 weeks ago. We saw Jen Farty and Mike Wolf get a bye right off the bat because of their great seasons.
Spoiled bitches.
And they moved right on to the second round because of it, but not so lucky were Pat and Phil in their matchups. So the first matchup we have off the bat is Pat versus Sean. Pat got off to a very commanding lead right off the bat. Jeremy Hill scored in the first 5 minutes of his game. Then Pat went and sent a video to Sean. This is the video now.
How's it feel to fuck over Sean Corrin? Jazz hands.
That is his 28th rushing touchdown.
So once Sean got that video, he forwarded it directly to Le'Veon Bell, who in turn turned around to score 3 touchdowns and run 200 yards on some team. It doesn't even matter anymore at this point, because he's actually still running on that team.
Classic Bengals.
So Sean went on to score 50 points with one player, which is about half of what Pat got the entire game. And it came down to a Monday Night Football game where Justin Tucker is his kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. Let's show you how that turned out.
Made 35 straight field goals. They jump the center, and it's blocked by Shea McClellan.
So as you can see, that is how Pat's season ended. Tucker right in the pussy got tucked right in the pussy. So now we're going to move on to the Phil Anthony game.
Fuck Phil.
Which absolutely no one cared about. It matters very little, but just so we can go over it, Anthony won. Then there were some matches in the loser bracket, which surprisingly somehow matters less than the Phil versus Anthony game. Not sure how that works. But Joe came out victorious over Mike Lamb, which isn't really a surprise. And Ian beat up on Mama Kay to move on in the losers bracket.
Woo!
So, now if Malcolm Bixby, would you like to talk us through the second round of the playoffs?
Tits on that one. Okay, so round 2 of the playoffs saw Jen and Mike Wolf entering the bracket, where Jen lost to Sean Colleran in a just terrible game, very low scoring. Ian actually got higher points than either of them, so if he had been involved, would have been nice. And Mike Wolf eliminated Anthony, so both of the sophomores got booted out, which is nice. Over in the losers bracket, I mean, again, who really cares? Because Ian lost, which is unfortunate, to Brian, and then Colin lost to Joe Murphy. So I guess Joe Murphy and Brian are going to be playing for the title of biggest loser next week. Why don't we talk about the championship round and give our predictions for who is going to win and who definitely isn't going to win.
Is that beer?
It's a coffee mug.
That's not the question. Alright, so we're going to move on to the championship round of Wolf versus Sean, and then the championship round of the losers bracket with Who Gives a Fuck? Malcolm?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The championship matchup. Sean Colleran versus Mike Wolf. I don't even have a pick for this matchup, because I'll tell you what, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care one way or the other. I think it's a bullshit matchup. We got Sean, who won the goddamn Illick last year, last place in the whole fucking thing, somehow good now. And then Mike Wolf, who's a self-loathing Browns fan, Kid's never even won a scratch ticket, never mind a fantasy playoff game, right? So like I don't care. I have a lot of money to dig up, and I don't even know what I'm doing here now, and I've ran out of coffee, or what? And forget it. Forget the whole thing. Fuck fantasy football. Fuck all y'all.
We're rolling? Alright. Sorry about that, folks. That was, really weird. Hey, man, you alright?
Fuck you, From Pod. I forgot my phone. Good. Peace out. Fuck this.
Alright, so without further ado, we're going to go right ahead, and I'll bring you the predictions for the Mike Wolf versus Sean Colleran match. Mike Wolf versus Sean Colleran. One, a first-round bye, heavy-handed favorite. The other, a team of destiny. Before I give you my pick and who I think is going to win in this championship, I should let you know I was able to catch up with both of them for an interview. So let's now go and see what they have to say for themselves about the championship round. And here in our festive office, we have none other than Sean Colleran. Sean? Now, you've made it to the championship week. You're playing Mike Wolf. How do you feel about the last 2 weeks and your wins in both of those weeks? Well, I gotta say, the week against Pat felt pretty good because I was outside doing yard work, not even paying attention to football, and he sent me a text, that video that you guys played earlier, and basically was rubbing it in my face very prematurely, so it felt pretty good to have Le'Veon Bell go on a tear and really give it to Pat, although I did want him to go all the way, but if it comes down to me or him, sorry man, it's just going to have to be me. And last week I did not expect to win whatsoever, so that was another good one to squeak out that win. I played really terribly. Jen just played even more terribly. I don't even know how to describe it. She basically really flubbed it. She just totally screwed the pooch on that one, and I reaped all the benefits. So I think it was a good last 2 weeks, and I'm excited for the upcoming week this week. What do you think about your upcoming matchup and your opponent this week, Mike Wolf? I think Mike Wolf is a good fantasy player when he's not trading away all of his good players for the future. I mean, when he actually keeps some people on his team, yeah, he's a great team. You've got the first round bye and everything. I mean, you really can't beat it. I don't know what to say about him. I can only really say good things, other than the fact that he's a Browns fan, so he could really use a win this week. But that's about it, yeah. Now, I know this late in the season, it's tough to play somebody who's playing a Thursday night game. Thursday night games, they're all beat up, everything's going badly, and they've only had 4 days to recuperate. Was it a difficult decision to play Sproles this week? Oh, man, I was freaking out yesterday. There is nothing worse than having to come in on a Thursday and play your already tired guys. Luckily, Sproles was coming off a week where he had a concussion, so he didn't play last week. I mean, concussions are bad, but hey, he was fresh on Thursday night, you know what I'm saying? Touchdown, couple of grabs, couple of runs. 13 points isn't bad out of a late-season backup running back to Ryan Matthews. I mean, you can ask Mike Wolf. I texted him last night. Panic move. I picked up Ryan Matthews off the waiver wire. What a dumb idea. Like, I couldn't already decide between Ivory and Sproles and Hightower. So what do? I pick up a fourth running back. You know, that totally makes sense, right? If you can't pick between three, definitely put a fourth guy in the mix and make it just totally difficult and impossible to decide on who you're going to play. It's yet to be seen. I played Sproles. He did better than Matthews. I don't know if he's going to do better than Hightower or McKinnon or Ivory, and for that matter, but we'll see. On the other side of your running back scheme, you have Le'Veon Bell. How do you feel about him, and what are you expecting from Le'Veon this week? Bell, I'm really hoping for a repeat 50-point week. That would be just amazing, because that would be about half my team's points from one guy. So that would be awesome. It would really help me out. So, I don't know. Hey, Bell, if you're watching this, if you could maybe score like 4 touchdowns, run 175 yards, and I don't know, just score like 1,000,000 points for me. That'd be great. And then the rest of my guys, they can just kind of slack off a little bit. They don't really have to do much or anything, because they're not anyway, because everyone's getting close to the end of the year, and Brendan Marshall has a team that's not making it to the playoffs, so he doesn't give a shit. And, just that kind of stuff. It's just, it's tough to play guys that are on teams that don't care anymore. I don't know, I guess that just must be what Ian's team is like. They just don't care anymore, or really anyone else's team for that matter, other than me and Mike Wolf, because none of it really matters. So, now I've heard you got married this year. Congratulations, by the way. How do you think this affected you in your season this year? Obviously, it's done you pretty well. What was the secret? Thank you. Yeah, I did get married this year. I got married on a Saturday and left for my honeymoon on that next morning. So I set my line up but never really checked anything because I was flying and had my phone off. I was in Aruba, I was in a different country, so I'm on my honeymoon, I didn't check anything, and that first week I lost because I really didn't check anything. And then next week I was flying back on a Sunday, so again I didn't check anything. I hadn't even changed my team from the first week to the next, and I actually won that week. So I don't know, I mean, get married is a big step, but I really think that paying attention to the wedding and trying to get all that squared away and not really caring about football at all, or like almost never even checking my team, has allowed me to get to the championship. I feel like I tinker too much if I have too much time on my hand, play matchups, play this, play whatever. Just look at the numbers. Hey, he's projected for this, he's projected for that. Sure, play them both. Who cares? It doesn't matter, because I'm in the championship, so obviously whatever I did was right this year, and I'm going to try to do that every year from now on. So I hope Risa is okay with me getting married every year. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. A long-time tradition of this Whoops Dude League has been going to Windy City every Sunday to go get some chili cheese fries and a chili cheese dog. How do you feel about Grady going ahead and just closing the doors on you guys? I can't believe that Grady closed. I could see why he closed the small restaurant near Pat's house, because there was nowhere to sit, and they really weren't making any money. The only time they ever made money was on Sundays, when we went over there at least 2-3 times a day to spend endless amounts of money. We basically single-handedly keeping that store open during football season. But then he closed his actual restaurant in Norwell as well, and I was pretty upset. I'm pretty bummed out. I'm not saying that it's the worst thing in the world, but Sunday roll around, and I would like nothing more than to get a chili cheese dog with some chili cheese fries and just stuff it in my face. And then at 4 o'clock, right before the 4 o'clock games, I'd like to repeat that process. I'd like to do that over again, which there's no way to do anymore. So I feel pretty bad about that. I'm sure we're all healthier for it in the long run, but at what cost? How do you feel about coming in last place last year? Has it motivated you to go from zero to hero? A real Boston Red Sox story in the making? Oh yeah. You must mean this. Yeah, you see this stupid little trophy? Yeah, it says, "Wow, you suck." See that? See that? Oh, let me get right in there. Yep. "Wow, you suck." Right on the trophy. I've had this up on my mantle right here in front of my TV for a year. I came in dead last place last year. I had to play this entire year like I was going to get kicked out of the league, because if you come in last twice, they vote on whether or not to kick you out of the league. I was terrified. So I played my heart out this year so that I could take this trophy and give it to just anybody else. It doesn't even matter. I'm just going to give it to anyone. And it would mean so much more to me to give this trophy to somebody as the champion. Well, that is just terrific. Is there anything else in closing that you'd like to say? Maybe to the league, or to Mike Wolf, your opponent this week, or maybe just in general for yourself? No, I don't really have much to say. Basically just want to wish everybody in the league Merry Christmas, if I can do that. I don't know, Phil, Happy Hanukkah, Phil? I'm not real sure. But yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody, and I'm real excited to be the champion for a year. So yeah, I'd really, really, really like to win so that I can just rub that in everyone's face for an entire year. That sounds like a good way to spend my time. So yeah, thank you for having me on. So there you have it, Sean Colleran on his take on the championship round. Now let's go to our interview with Mike Wolf.
Hello?
Hey, is your refrigerator running?
Is this fucking Tombot again, you fucking piece of shit? Always calling me in the fucking middle of the night. Fuck you, you fucking asshole. Get a fucking life.
So, as you can see, Mike Wolf isn't a very sore sport. Mike Wolf is a pretty sore sport, and we didn't get much from him in his interview. So, I guess now we'll just go right into our my picks. I don't think, is Malcolm coming back? No, he's not. He quit. He's not. All right. So we're just gonna go right ahead and go to my picks. So obviously, I am going to go with Sean Colleran over Mike Wolf. I believe that his team's gonna come through for him. I think that he may be a team of destiny because no team in their right mind should have beat Jen last week. Or lost to Jen last week, as a matter of fact, actually, because her team is just better than that. I don't understand what happened. She needed 9 points between two guys on a Monday night, and she just wasn't able to pull through. So that's just all there is to that. I guess now we'll go to the losers bracket as my cat throws up off screen. Oh, that's so fucking gross. All I had to do was mention that losers bracket, and my cat threw up everywhere, all over the front of the Jorts Center platform. So, I don't know, I guess maybe that I'll just sign off, because obviously my cat has given up. Ew. My partner, Malcolm Bixby, he's officially quit. He put in his papers, he quit. I highly doubt that. He didn't look like he was going to put in papers. He tore our set apart. Alright, so I'm going to go with Sean Colleran is going to be the champion. Mike Wolf will be a close second. And in the losers bracket, no one cares. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off. And I will see all of you next year.